chart lesson. Today we are doing an all-time fantastic classic song by Jackie Wilson, actually written by a couple of Motown house writers back in the 60s called Reynard Minor and Carl Smith. They were writers for Chess Records and they wrote this song. Jackie Wilson recorded it in 1967. I was wandering around trying to find a great simple bass line to teach one of my students, and this popped into my head. It's just a cyclic bass line. So once you get it down, that's why the chart that you're about to download hopefully has only a 4-bar pattern really, because that pattern goes throughout the whole song. It's an amazingly good song for the fact that it's got a 4-bar repeating pattern pretty much through the whole song. So Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher is the name of the song. And the chords are very simple, the bass line is very simple. I'm going to take you through all of these things because it's great fun to put them together, as you just heard me do with a loop pedal. You can start with the bass line. I've got an octave pedal on this guitar, but it's no different than doing this. All the way through. You can also play it up here. Or you can play it here. All depends on what is comfortable for your fingers. That's the bass line. I'll put it in tab as well just to make it easier for everyone. As I said, it's only a 4-bar pattern, so why not put it all down there, right? 2 notes on the open A string. Go up to the 2nd fret to the B. The B note, that is, not the B string. Go straight over to the open D string. So you're going A, B, D, then B again, D. Then you go D, D, D. Okay, so I'm calling out the note names. A, B, D, B, D, 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 D. A, B, D, B, D, 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 D. Or numbers, O, O, 2, O, 2, O, 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 O. Right throughout the whole song. The chords are also really, really simple, but what we're going to do is I've got it 2 different ways on your chart again, so you can take your pick. You can do easy open chords. That's your rhythm. I'll pull that apart in a minute, but the chords are like this. Simple D, G, E minor, D. That's your 4-bar pattern. D, G, E minor, D. To make that sound a little bit more interesting and to layer it over the bass line a little bit more nicely and neatly, we can play it up here, and I've included these voicings on your chart as well. You play, with your first finger, you play 7th fret on the D, G and B strings, which is actually the top row of a D bar chord here on the 5th fret. So across the 7th fret, D, G and B strings. Same rhythm. When you're doing this, one of the trickier parts is going to be muting the strings that you don't want to hear. So when you play this D, which is just on these 3 strings, this top E string wants to be kind of muffled, and you do that by not pressing down on it too hard with the underside of your first finger. The tip of your first finger can just slightly touch the A string, and that takes care of the muffling on those 2 strings. If you're strumming with your fingers, it's easy to muffle the top E, or this low E string I should call it, with your thumb or part of your hand. If you're strumming with a pick, then you've got to work out a way, whether it's reaching this finger across just to dampen that low E string, or whether another part of your hand or your strumming hand can actually muffle that string. But all you want to hear are those 3 strings, the D, G and B strings, and the same goes for the next voicing, and then the E minor voicing as well. Muffle the strings on either side of those 3 strings that you're using, and you'll get a really nice clean, crisp sound to your chords. And you'll see the count beneath that first bar of your rhythm. I've placed it there. So the first strum lands on the 1. The second little short strum lands on the 1 and, 2 and. Then when we hit the third beat, it starts on the 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Now the 4 actually lands in between a couple of those beats there, so it's 3 and 4. Here the 4 is not actually on a strum, but listen to the rhythm and it's quite easy to get. You're going, and those last two can actually be muted if you want, like that. Whatever feels good, whatever sounds good. This is all about getting a really good groove going. This song is all about the groove. Then after the D, what we do to move up to the G is we put our third finger on the 9th fret of the D string. Leave your first finger where it is on the 7th fret. Put our third finger on the 9th fret D string and put our second finger on the 8th fret B string. So now you've got this voicing of a G chord. Same rhythm. Now, the reason why playing up the neck like this is a little bit more funky for this song is that you get to squeeze those chords on and off, and the muting sounds much more crisp than you can achieve with open chords with open strings. So, G. For the E minor, all you do is you put your pinky on the 7th fret G string, and you can play the root note of the E minor chord here on the 7th fret of the A string, but that makes the chord sound fuller than the other two chords we've just used. So stick with those 3 strings, I would, and you can leave your first finger on that 7th fret the whole time. So the E minor is, and then back to the D. That's it. That's the whole song going all the way through. If you want to zhuzh up that rhythm, if you're playing without the bass line, there's another rhythm that kind of works really well, which I found myself playing without realizing that it wasn't the actual spot on right rhythm, which is something like this. It's really similar, but it kind of mixes the bass line's rhythm and the guitar's rhythm to put it all into one. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but it sounds good, and so that's why I was playing it that way for years. But the actual perfect rhythm is what's on your chart. It may vary very slightly all the way through because these are actually brilliant session musos, the Funk Brothers from Chess Records that were from Motown that were playing on this album. Incidentally, I think the drummer from Earth, Wind and Fire played on this track. Anyway, this is all trivia, but it's about getting that groove going. And if it changes a little bit, during the course of the song, that's absolutely fine. Keep it in the pocket, and it's going to sound good. So there it is. Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher. Jackie Wilson, an absolute killer of a song. I can't believe I haven't done a lesson for this before now, but there it is. If you've got any comments, if you've got any questions, anything you want to talk about or, just put out there, please leave a comment below. Subscribe, like, hit the notifications bell, do all the regular things. Thank you so much for watching this channel. I am hoping to see you here again very soon for some more lessons. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.